My name is Rachel Wally, and I work for Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I'm an independent sales director for Mary Kay. And I've worked with Mary Kay for 11 years now. I just think it's pretty cool that after 11 years, I don't feel burnt out. I don't feel bored. I don't feel like I could be doing a better job. I feel like, or I guess I don't feel like it's just that constant evolution where I feel like they're always ahead of me and I'm never ahead of them. And in a lot of careers that I've had, I always felt like maybe I was ahead or I had thoughts that were farther along. And I've never felt that way. And the other thing that I really appreciate is that I have never seen I've never seen my company, I think, make a decision that was best for the company. They continually surprise me and impress me with how they make decisions on what is going to individually be best for the person in the company. So I just love that they were a company built for the sake of the people in it versus a company that was built just for the sake of the company. So that's what I really appreciate. So 5 years from now, my goal is to be a national sales director, which is basically being a leader of leaders. And that's what motivates my heart. I love encouraging people. I love pushing people to be, to live in their full potential instead of living average lives. I really want people to live out who they know is inside of them, but they're oftentimes maybe not courageous enough to just grab that person and just run with it. So that's where I see myself in 5 years. So I do a 6 most important things list every day. But my day, if you really want to know my day, it's, getting up at whatever time my kids wake me up at, 6 o'clock usually. Getting my daughter on the bus, taking my son to preschool if that's what he's doing, or else he's hanging out with me or my mom that day. I usually have appointments every single day, or I try to take one day off a week where it's just maybe an at-home day. It may not always work out, but really a day where I can just literally be at home and just kind of regroup and go through everything I need to do and get that all on the date book. But every day it's a balance of always building more business. So I might be connecting with more customers. I might be helping other people build their own businesses. So that's usually the balance is my family comes first. So I'm always figuring out what we need to do there. And once they're taken care of, then my second priority is my business and figuring out generally what do I need to do with my personal business first. And I take that. And then I also every day trying to make progress for someone else's business as well. And I think owning your own business, the hours are really odd. Like if someone asks, how many hours a week do you work? I think the best question that someone ever answered that with was they said, well, how many hours a week are you a parent? And it doesn't matter if your kids are with you or not, you're always a parent. And that's how I feel about my business is no matter, there's no blurred lines anymore. It's just a part of my life. And it's just always balancing that. And that's the beautiful thing is we own our own business and we control what that's going to look like from day to day. So one part of what I do that involves heavily on event planning is creating those events that people can come to, that is motivating and inspiring that they can plug into. Because I think when you own your own business, you own your own business. And unless there's a place for you to plug into, there would be no personal connection with other people. So that is a big part of my job is creating those events that people can plug into several times throughout the week. So I generally have, like I said, a strong, solid 3 events a week, whether that could be where people can bring guests to, or it might be just time with me where they can ask questions or whatever that might be. But it's a solid 3 events a week that I plan. So that's a big part is I think plugging into people I think is critical to motivating people. I don't think you can motivate people just through emails or text messages. I think motivating people comes from the heart, where you really have to care. And that's what I think is so fun about the events that we have, is it's that face-to-face connection. I think with at least for me personally, I'll just speak for me personally. But I feel like for me, the most challenging part of our job, or my job is to see potential in people. And my job is to see the greatness that is in them. And the challenging part is if they don't see it in themselves and they choose to walk away from something that could have been amazing. And that can be kind of heartbreaking, because that can happen at different levels in your life. Someone could choose to start their own business with you and instantly decide, I'm not, and they walk away right away. But you could have a person who's with you for years, that you have deeply invested with, loved with all your heart, soul, and guts. And to see that person walk away, it's I think that's the most challenging part of your business. But I think the focus that I have is that happens at any job. It's pretty good when there's only like one thing you don't like, but 7,000 things you do like. Yeah. I'm holding Avery's hand since she snuck down. Here she is. Here's little Avery. What I think okay, that's good. What I love most, I love that I have a job that I could go see her in her parade this morning. I love that she has parties at her school and I'm always the person there. If there's 24 kids in her class and there's 5 parents there, what is that? 1/5 of the parents in her classroom can actually show up. I love being a part of people's lives, and I love that I can absolutely give them my trust and my heart and my soul and my everything. And I know that they will 100% of the time be there back for me the same way I am for them. And I love that when I meet a friend, it's not an average friend. It's a friend that I know I'm going to be at her funeral or she's going to be at mine. Yeah. So time management is brutal. Time management is, man, that's where everything's at. So I think a system is figuring out what you're doing repetitively over and over and over. Because if there's a certain thing that you're doing over and over and over, it's thinking like, can I create a system for that? I have lots of different assistants, because that way if one assistant ever has to leave, I don't have to retrain a whole new assistant on everything. So I have lots of, I think, little bits and pieces of people doing a lot of different things. And I think that was smart. I felt like I had already found my life's work. But at, how old was I? I don't know, 24 maybe? I had already hit I couldn't have advanced any further in my career. So I was an education director at a zoo. And I was already the education director. So unless I wanted to become a zoo director, which I didn't want to do, there was no way I could have advanced. And I would have had over 40 more years of work before I could have retired. And I was already at the top of my field. Every day's not easy and every day's not perfect. But when I compare it to what I could have been doing the rest of my life, I know my bad day is still a great day compared to most people's lives. And I'm grateful for that.